if you want to do what the boys are doing, you need to be able to do what the boys are doing. I wholeheartedly believe that, because if not, people are going to get hurt, and worse, people are going to die.
Being a chick in that, like, is a different environment as well. I mean, you have to almost work harder than the guys to prove yourself that you're worthy enough to take on those positions. That way they feel as confident with you at the gun as anybody else that they would feel on there.
Well, I think that was probably, on one hand, it was most challenging, but on the other side, like, it taught me so much. Because when I hit the fleet, god dang, I would have been 18. Yeah, I would have been 18 when I hit the fleet. And when I walked into that shop, I will never forget, like, the look on the guy's face. Like, all of them, none of them wanted me there. So even just as a maintainer, as literally just turning wrenches and dragging my knuckles, they didn't want a female in the shop. And I don't blame them, to be honest with you. Like, it does. It totally takes this whole mentality, this whole shift. So even in that position, I really had to prove myself that I could figure out how to fix these helicopters, that I could keep my guys safe, that I could, provide at least some kind of value to the Marine Corps and to the shop. And then especially once I picked up my wings, there was like half of the guys supported this idea because they knew that I was going to work for it and that I could prove myself. And then there was maybe a quarter that was like, no fucking way, we don't want her on the bird, she's too small, she's this, that, and the other, she can't do it. And there was another quarter that kind of just looked at me like, a wife, a girlfriend, a daughter, a sister, like whatever, just a female. And they just didn't want me out there doing that, just purely out of this protection role, which is, in my opinion, totally innate. We're human. And so there's like this multi-level tier, like, of, I don't know, proving yourself in so many different ways, whether it's, again, protecting somebody, or the fact that they could trust me, or the fact that I could perform, just handling these very intense situations at times. And I don't know, again, definitely the hardest part of my career, but at the same time, I learned a lot about myself and what I needed to do at a very, very young age. And I
How
think
do you not develop a chip on your shoulder? You're trying, and you're not really looked at as an equal from the start. You're not given the benefit of the doubt that probably most guys are given right off the bat. I mean, how do you not deal with a fucking chip on your shoulder? I mean, how do you just kind of keep going through that and not, I don't know.
You do have to have a chip on your shoulder. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there were times that I was a total freaking asshole and that I was a total turd, and like, but I don't know. I mean, I think it was a matter of being able to say, this isn't about them anymore. This is about me. This is about what I want to do. This is what I need to do to make my life, especially as a Marine, feel fulfilled. I wasn't going to let someone stop me, from picking up my wings. I wasn't going to let somebody stop me from fixing those helicopters. But there was a time when I had to go into the shop with my head down and just say, I've got to fucking do this. I mean, there were other times that, I never wanted to miss out on like the military traditions. Like, hey, you know what? If you're going to give me my blood stripe, or you're going to punch those wings into my chest, you goddamn right you're going to do it. And it's like, I think once they realized that I wanted to be a part of, the good old boys club in that capacity, and I wasn't going to throw a fit about certain things, then it was fine. Obviously, we could go into like MST and all of that, but that's, I don't know. I was very fortunate that it's like, if I fucked up, I took ownership over, and I said, you know what, I did it. I screwed this up. I'm going to get better. And then I showed them that I would get better. Or in other ways, like, if somebody did say something inappropriate to me or cross that line, you look at them, you tell them to shut the fuck up, because in that moment, they know they're wrong already for saying something like that. And the moment you can actually stick up for yourself and use your voice and shoot them down really quickly to let them know that like there are boundaries, it's not going to happen.
If you mean it.
Yeah.
People could tell, like, I think when you're just kind of like, knock it off, like, versus like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like they see it.
Well, and I think, again, of course, there's evil out there, but my experience in the Marine Corps, like I said, the situations that I made hard, or the situations that were hard were mainly because I made them hard for myself. You know, um, but I did. I went into the shop and I talked just as bad as they did. And don't get me wrong, I went out and behaved just as bad as they did, goofing off at the barracks and drinking and doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
I did all of that. So.
And so now when it came to the physical aspects of it, I mean, cause you still can't, as much as I think the world kind of pretends nowadays, like men and women are built differently. I think we could say that comfortably in this room. So, and like, you still had to be able to to carry a guy, right, or to drag a guy, and you said, I don't know, I think you said you were like 5'2".
5'3" ish.
5'3". Oh, sorry.
Ish. Don't give me, yeah.
Don't make her shorter.
With the right leg, you kind of.
Right. Yeah. So give myself a little more height, huh?
Yeah. So 5'3", and you're physically fit, which means you're probably a $110 soaking wet.
Yeah, probably 115 now.
Right. I mean, so you still have to overcome those physical obstacles, right, of the performance aspect of it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you really you do that, I mean.
Well, so the biggest argument, honestly, when I got to the point of wanting to fly and fighting to be able to fly, to earn those wings, that was the biggest argument is, she can't run that gun out there. It's as tall as she is. It weighs as much as she does. Those ammo cans are 75 pounds. So again, those speed reloads aren't going to happen very quickly. So it was a matter of proving myself. And I just grinded it out, honestly. Even when it came to being a maintainer and carrying these nitrogen pop bottles or whatever it was, if they gave me the option to use a cart, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to throw it on my back. I'm going to walk this out to the bird. Toolboxes, the whole nine. Some of these toolboxes are bigger than I am. And I'm like, no, I'm just going to drag it out there. I'm going to do it. And again, I don't want to say I was doing it to prove it to them. I was doing it to prove it to myself too, because there was doubts and hesitations in my, in my own mind about what I could do and if I was going to be capable of doing those things. So I don't know. I think again, my whole life has been about being able to shift your perspective. So for me in that situation, if you want something, you figure out how to do it for yourself. I mean, you don't have to live your life by somebody else's standards. You don't have to live your life by somebody else's rules. You figure out, you prioritize what you want to do.
But that's interesting. I think a lot of people now, they try to change the system as opposed to just fucking finding a way to do it themselves, right? If I I mean, there's obviously a difference between male and female PFTs and stuff, but I mean, they would try to they would think to themselves maybe they would try to justify to somebody well, I shouldn't have to carry this, or I shouldn't have to reload that fast or whatever. And you're saying that that wasn't a part of your mentality. You were just I'm gonna do what they do.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I'm part of the unpopular opinion. I don't think there should be a female in fucking infantry. I don't think you should migrate those two. I don't think I think you should make your own badass units of military or infantry women, because hey, I guarantee there are situations that they will dominate in that dude would never ever be able to to actually go forth and do. Well, as far as if you want to do what the boys are doing, you need to be able to do what the boys are doing. I wholeheartedly believe that, because if not, people are going to get hurt, and worse, people are going to die. So yeah, I mean,
to make you feel better, I feel the same way. I'm a small guy, and I've never been a big dude, so I was fuck, I really got to put out every extra energy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people are still looking at me going man, I don't know if Doc's going to be able to carry me.
Well, you were a lot smaller. He was 20 pounds less than he is now.
Yeah, 30
pounds. He was a skinny beanpole.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was bigger than him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was a small guy all the way through high school and into the military, and I had that same mentality of fuck, I gotta prove that I can carry this big dude, and it sucked every second of it, but I just kind of did it. I mean, so I guess what I'm saying is that I know what it's like to be a woman, and This is actually my coming out. You will call me Josephina from now on.